Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, which of the following graphs shows a line with an x-intercept of 3? So what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for an x-intercept. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if I look at the lines that are given to me on A, B, C, and D choices, right? Each one of those have a line. I want to find which one of those is actually crossing. Okay, let's write it down like this. So I want to know which line is crossing the x-axis at what point? At point what? 3. Very good. So I want to find out which one of those is crossing the x-axis at 3. And it's a positive 3, right? So one of the easiest things for us to do is, let's identify, well, first of all, the x-axis, right? So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to highlight my x-axis. Why? Because now I want to check each one of the lines. And I want to check what's the point that the line has when it's crossing that green line. Is that right? So let's look at the first line that is up here. What do you notice about this line? It's not even crossing the x. Who's that line crossing? It's crossing the y. Very good. So if I want to think about that, that's crossing actually the y axis. So no, that cannot be my answer. Okay, what about B? Let's look at the line here. And I'm going to choose another color here. Think about this line. And I'm going to stop right here. Is that right? So I'm going to trace in the line. And I'm going to stop when I touch the green one. And I can continue. But it touched the line right there. What number is that? It's 1, 2, it's 3 spaces, but it's going to the left. So this one is actually crossing it, -3. And I do not want a -3. I want a +3. Is that right? So no, that cannot be my answer either. What about C? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of trace my line, trace it, and I'm going to stop right there. Because right there is where my line touches the x-axis, right? So keep on going. So there's only one time right there. What number is that line crossing at? 1, 2, and 3. And it's positive because it's to the right. So can we say that this is my x-intercept? Yes, it is. This is my x-intercept. Notice how in A, my point was the y-intercept, right? Because it was touching the y. Right now, this is the x because it's touching the x-axis. Very good. Just to be on the safe side, it seems to me that C is the answer, but let's look at letter D. This is my line, and I'm going to follow the line, follow the line, follow the line. I don't stop here because this is not the x-intercept. This is your y-intercept. Very good. Just a little review. So keep on going. And I don't see it crossing the x. So I have a problem, right? Because if I was to continue, where would that line cross? Well, that's kind of to be concerned with, but not really. Because I do know what's the x-intercept that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the x-intercept of 3. So I'm going to come back to my answer choice D, and I'm going to find 3 on x. And it's right here. So the question is, do you think that it's possible for that line to cross at 3? Not a chance, right? Because there is already, it already passed by that kind of like section, right? And it kept on going and going. So it seems to me that the x-intercept is going to be greater than a 10 because here is 10. And I'm still not there yet. Are you guys with me on that? So letter D, the only concern would be, how can I double check? Well, we can actually do lots of steps, but I'm not going to worry because I can see that it's not near close 3. But if it was, Then I will need to do finding the slope. So I will need to find 2 points, find the slope, and use the formula y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And then after that, I will need to use that equation of the line, which is slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. But I don't need to do that much because I can recognize that my answer, it is letter C. That's where the line crosses the x at exactly 3 positive. I would like for you to add something that is very important for you to understand about the x-intercept. And that is, and we're going to write it right here on the right side. So let's write the coordinates. And I'm writing everything just so that you can do the same thing. Let's write the coordinates for our x-intercept for this problem. So we agreed earlier that the x-intercept was a 3, but I want you to write it down with the coordinates, right? So if you look at the point that we found earlier, that point is actually 3 and 0. Very good. So what I want to point out to you, and we're going to need to memorize this, is anytime that you see an x-intercept, the y-coordinate will always be 0. Always, always. And I'm going to say the word 0 just like that. Okay? So very important that you remember that. Make the connection. X-intercept means that the y-coordinate will always be a 0. Very good.